dream taking you to the kind of home you want to live in with your family? Are you worried about the kind of neighborhood to bring your children up? Does the influence of society and environment matter to you and your family? Are you worried about your health, your early morning joggings, sound of the birds? Does accessibility contribute to your daily activities? If yes, Universal Properties has homes, lands on our estates, property management, and construction, just at the right spots for the most reasonable offer. Our land locations are at Sukuta, Jabang, Brikama Jamisa, Kitty Highway, Sanyang, and Gunjur, on both mortgage and cash payment.
Established far back in 2009, and we are into housing, developing, rent, sales. We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian.
Universal Properties, property, the solution.
Hello viewers, you're watching the Youth Dialogue and I am your host, Jainaba Sonko. So if you've been following us on social media, you would realize that today we're taking a look at Youth of the Month, and we posted it on social media and people voted, people decided. We did not choose this individual on our own, but you, the public out there, decided that you want Jama to be your Youth of the Month. If not even on social media, I had people text me personally, give me a call saying that they want to have Jama on the Youth Dialogue as Youth of the Month, and here she is today. We brought her to you to ask her certain questions, and some of the questions are even going to come from you because I got calls, I got text messages of people wanting to know certain things in relation to what she does. And this is an individual, I have to be honest, that's been inspiring me personally since I was little, because I used to hear about Jama. So when I came to QTV, then I had the opportunity to meet her and talk to her, and since that happened, I've been following her progress. Everything she puts up on social media, probably she doesn't know, and she's been inspiring me so much. I think if we just have 10 of her in the country, then we are going to move forward. But the future is bright anyway because she's inspiring us already. So Jama, thank you so much for coming and congratulations.
Thank you, Jainaba. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be the Youth of the Month.
Yeah. So Jama, a lot of people call you Linger. We see that it's Linger on social media. So people want to know why Linger. Where's that name coming from anyway?
I think if people call me Linger, it's coming from my blog, because that's the name of my blog, which I started in 2010. But Linger generally is the name that was given to Wolof Queens in ancient history, and that was really the inspiration for the name of my blog. I am Wolof, and I read about the Lingers, I read about the role they played in their society, and that really has inspired me to really tell my story and do my work from that point of view. So not even the royalty around it, but just, you know, the depiction that women can be at the fore of work and of development. That's really where it came from. So I think it's because of the blog that people refer to me as Linger, or when you say Linger, people think about me.
All right, so is that why you wear the grambuba and everything? Because we see that most of the time you're a traditional person for some reason with the pictures that you do. When you take a look at it, you will see that you have the grambuba, the earrings, you know, and all of those things. So is it the name that you're trying to reflect, or?
I think it's just everything about me, really. I am a huge fan of Wolof culture, so I'm really, so I come from a very mixed cultural background. My father's Wolof, my mother's Manjago, my grandmother's Jola. So there's a mix of cultures that you know that I bring forward in everything that I do. So I think that's really where it comes from. I really started wearing grambubas very recently because I always felt like I was too tiny for them. But yeah, for me it's always about representing myself in a way that promotes my culture. Also understanding that some of the things I fight against are also part of our culture, but that is also me just showing that there are some good aspects of our culture that we can portray. So everything I do, sometimes it's not even intentional. I believe it's just my style. Today I'm dressed like this. It's not in a gamble, so it also depends on what mood I am in. And really that's what it is about. I'm very tied to my culture. There's something very beautiful about Wolof culture that just draws me to it, that gets me to really research and try to understand how people lived before, you know. So I think that's really what influences how I come out to people as well, and generally how I live my life.
I think it's a good idea that you're showing the positive aspect of our culture and condemning certain things, because sometimes people say this activists, they just don't want us to embrace our culture anymore. So this is a justification that you love the culture, but obviously there's certain things that are not acceptable and you tend to condemn them.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we're seen as too modern, too educated, too influenced by the West. And for me, it's not really a point of trying to convince people. It's just really living in my truth and understanding that, yes, this is the culture. This is what we found people practicing. But there are some parts of it that harm people. There are some parts of it that are good that we can promote. And so there needs to be that balance between the two. And that's really what it is about for me and for so many other people that I know as well.
I saw your biography, and when I saw it, I saw that you started advocacy at 10. So I was like, oh my God, at 10, what was I doing at 10? You know, I started asking questions. So how did that happen? And is it possible? What impact did you really create at that particular age?
Absolutely. It's thanks to an organization called Lend a Hand Society. So a lot of us growing up at that time had Lend a Hand. So I hear people talk about youth dialogue as a safe space. And, you know, our different organizations right now, we're creating safe spaces. But my first safe space was really Lend a Hand Society, which I joined when I was 10 years old. And at the time, there were people who were even younger than me, members of the organization. And I think what they did was really create a platform for us as children to come forward and speak. Because when we started, we were doing work on child rights and a bit of work as well on HIV and AIDS, especially in relation to stigma, but also on how people can protect themselves from HIV at the time. So we were talking about child rights, and it was only right to have children also, you know, stand up in different platforms and speak about, you know, what their experiences are and what they feel, what they want, what their desires are. And that's really where we started. So from a very early age, we were mentored. You know, from age 10, we were already being put on big stages and given microphones to say, just say what you want, just say what you feel. So nothing was scripted, nothing was directed to us. There was a space for learning because we had to learn about the things that we were going to say. And that's really where we started. And I don't think, for the Gambia, I'm not sure it's really an anomaly. A lot of the people that I work with started at that age as well. Some people 9, some people 8, but then it just showed the importance of having an organization like that. And to be honest, I owe all of this to Lend a Hand Society as my base, because growing up I was a really shy girl. I remember when I went to Lend a Hand for my first meeting, they asked me to introduce myself and I started crying because I could not do it. So to get to this point where I'm standing now and just using my voice and speaking with so much confidence, there was that journey. So it's been 20 years in the making, but it was because there was that space at the time that showed us, you can come in here, we can help you, we can support you. And for that, I'm going to thank one person, Francis Abdul Malik Mendy. Everybody knows him as X-Miles now. You mentioned him, it's open mic, but X-Miles was our X-Miles at Lend a Hand. He was the one who nurtured us. So it's thanks to those people that at that early age we were able to do work and, you know, really build on our different platforms to get to the point where we understand this is where I want to focus on. And here we are today.
Jama, I think when it comes to Lend a Hand Society, they've really impacted in the lives of a lot of people. Because for me as well, I started when I was in junior school. That is when I started all these activities. And it is the first organization that actually invited me for a training, like a proper training whereby I was mentored and all that. And this is something that I talk about everywhere. And since that particular training, for some reason I was bold, I changed, my thoughts changed as a child. So I think when it comes to Lend a Hand Society, and looking at the society, Satang Nabani,
everywhere you go, there's a Lend a Hand member doing amazing work, Haruna Drame, you know. And then the beauty of it is, it was all of us kids at that point, and even the adults who were helping us, who are now leading our own organizations and doing work and providing that space for other people. So Lend a Hand might not be here now as it used to be, but the impact is still there. The legacy is really what we're carrying forward.
The legacy. But for some reason, I think it should be revived or something. I think we should walk on that.
There are walks along that direction. So
Okay.
hopefully we will be able to come together again. Because I think one of the challenges was that as we grew, people went out to study, others went out for other opportunities. But like I always say, for us, it's not really about just that space. It's also what we're doing everywhere else as well. That is still lend a hand.
Yeah, it's
what
still
I am doing here is still lend a hand. So even if we can't get that organization back again and get our center again,
the name is still there.
the work still continues, and that's really what's important. But there are walks to get us back together and create that space again, because it's much needed in Gambia.
Yeah. So Jama, like I said before, today our conversation is not Jama, what's this? Tell me this. Yes, because it's about what people want to hear, because they asked that they want you here. So I was talking to somebody and we are like, oh, Jama is our youth of the month. So the person said, yen time being you don't gain the fire to Jama the photo and see make to study. Level. So I'm like, is Jama a bookworm? I'm going to ask Jama when Jama comes here. So is Jama a bookworm really?
It depends on what you would define as a bookworm, but I would say yes. That has been my reputation, my image for a very long time. You know, so I was very rooted in my education. I did not have any excuses. I did not have a chance to not do that. My mother wouldn't even let me. But I also just had a love for learning, but especially for reading. And I think that is why maybe that person said that, because it's because of all of that reading that now I am able to write, you know, and people read my stuff, people watch the things that come out of my writing. So I would say yes, I love my books. Unfortunately, now I do not have a lot of time to read as much as I used to or as much as I would love. But books are really... They used to be my safe space as well. I would just escape everything and get into a book and go into a whole other world. So the person is right.
Okay, then the person is right. I hope the person is watching. So Jama, we know that you studied journalism and communications. And when you say journalism and communications, a lot of people expect that you have to be on TV, you have to be presenting, hosting a show. So why didn't you venture into that, but instead be like a communication specialist?
So I'm not even sure what the decision was. So when I went to school, so I studied in Morocco for my first degree on a Gambia government scholarship. And in my school, the school is specialized for media studies and communication. So at the school, it's not like we have here in the university where you choose your courses. No. So you go there, it's a set curriculum that you follow. So in a semester, I would be doing like 14 courses.
That's stiff.
You know. So what we did was they would teach you TV, they would teach you radio, they would teach you press. That's the print press. You would do communications for 3 years. The first 3 years of your studies, you do all of it. No exceptions whatsoever. So we would pick cameras and go out and do our own stories and come and edit and submit as our assignments. And then when you get to the 4th year, because you have already done the 3 years, you would now understand, okay, this is maybe where I would be more interested to focus on. And so when I got to the 4th year, I was like, I'm going to go in for comms and just specialize in institutional or corporate communication. But the reasoning for me was also that when I am doing communication, all of the different elements, TV, radio, print, would also come on. Right now, I am not in the studios reading news or presenting shows, but I work still in that domain. So for me, having the communication specialization was important, but my degree gave me, you know, I have I have the qualification to do all of that. I have the training to get into TV, to go to radio, to do, you know, press. But I just wanted to specialize in communication also because of my activist background. I felt like I would be a lot more useful, especially to organizations in Gambia where the communication culture is not very strong. So I wanted to change that in my own little way and contribute to better organizational communications, especially in civil society. And I think we're getting there. I wouldn't say I set trends, but I have been able to do things that, you know, people have seen the value in communicating about our work and how that can get us support, how that can get people to understand what we're doing and come on board to also bring in whatever support they can, whether it's human resources, financial resources, you know, or just giving us a platform to share the work that we do. And that's really why I specialize in communication. But today I could wake up and go to TV. I could wake up and go to the radio. So that's really the beauty of the field as well for me.
So part of the reasons why we're more motivated like to have you here has to do with like the COVID-19 and the fact that you are ahead of a whole MRC communications unit, and it's so big to everybody, and you're so young and you're handling it. How is the experience going so far?
It's a challenging one, but I must say I'm very grateful, you know, to be in that space at this time. So the MRC is an institution that's based in the Gambia. They've been here for more than 70 years. And to have a young Gambian woman like me, I'm only 30. When I came in, I was 28 to head that department. And everybody on my team is older than me, right? So it's a bit of a challenge for me to really bring my ideas, because different people have different leadership styles. We have different ideas. You want to do so many things, you know. So sometimes it's a challenge for me to even get people to listen, you know. But I feel like it's also been really rewarding, you know, looking at my journey. I graduated 2014. It's been only 6 years, and I've been able to move up the ranks to now become head of communications at MRC. So for me, like, being in that space is just a lot more motivation for me. But it's also showing people out there that we can do it. You know, we can be Gambian, we can study here or outside and come back and give to our country in so many different ways. So I am at MRC, we're providing support to the COVID-19 response in the country. And a very critical part of that is the information that is being shared with people. And so to be in that space where I am the one making the decisions, I'm the one doing, you know, a lot of the messaging. For me, that's important as my contribution to the work that is happening. I'm just glad I'm not sitting at home, not doing anything. And I'm glad that I'm in that position, playing that crucial role, first as a Gambian, but also as a young woman, showing examples of what's possible to other young girls who might be watching, and even older women as well.
You talked about the fact that it's fulfilling and all that, but talk to us more about the challenges, so that young people out there, when they know that they have to like go into the real world, like what do you really face? Because as a young person, sometimes people like, hi, halebi, didn't come on a idea, matter what, you hear some of those things. So how do you overcome those things?
So the first thing is to believe in yourself. Because one of the things that has always helped me in whatever space I go in is that I know my work. So when you know your stuff, it's hard for people to discredit you. It's hard for people to just dismiss you. So I make sure, I mean, I graduated, but I'm still learning every day for me. So I tell people all the time, there's some girls that I mentor who want to get into communications, and I always tell them, you don't stop learning. You're in a field that's always changing. Every day there's something new. So you need to keep up with everything. So for me, I invest a lot of time and some of my money as well into learning, doing online courses, getting books, reading. So that's what I do. So for me, the first thing is really to know your stuff. Know your stuff so much that nobody is going to be able to discredit you. Because that's also what gives you the confidence. Now, leadership is very difficult. Sometimes you're leading a team that works very well. You know, they listen, they follow your direction. But one of the things that I've also been able to do is to make sure that I am leading, that I am a leader and not just a boss, where I come and give directions, give commands, give orders. Sometimes I leave my office, I go sit with my staff and we chat, we talk about Gambia and the politics, you know, and everything. For me, sometimes people see that as, you know, oh, she's bringing herself down to these people's level. But for me, it's really about building a relationship with my team, so that when we have stuff to do, we all come together and we understand that we're a team.
And even when you're not there,
everything continues working, you know. So for me, that's the point. But it's also a culture of just sharing, getting them to understand this is what's happening, so nobody's in the dark. We all know we're headed towards one direction and we work in that direction. So the challenges, yes, they are there. Being a woman, being young, being Gambian, sometimes it's really difficult. You know, you always have people who are doubting if you're able to carry on the function. You have people who believe you're not supposed to be in that position in that first place. But again, it comes back to what I say. You know, you prove yourself, not for other people. I always say this, I'm not trying to prove myself for anyone. I'm proving myself for me. You know, this is the path that I chose, so I'm going to do it and do it so well that even if you want to criticize, you would just criticize my person and not my work.
Your work.
So for me, if there's anyone out there, it's really just do it. When I was applying, I remember I was a bit skeptical because MRC is big. Like, it's a huge institution. It's one of the biggest employers in Gambia. So I was like, am I going to be able to do this? Is this too soon for me to get into? At only 28, go ahead a whole department. But I was like, let me just do it. So I think I submitted my application on the deadline itself. And I went through the whole process. And for me, in the end, when I came out, I was like, you did it. You know, and with a lot of support from my husband as well, because he kept telling me, why wouldn't you do it? You're able to do it. You've done it everywhere. This is just going to be another job. So for anyone out there, the challenges are going to be there. But take the challenges as lessons. Take them as a chance to grow. Because for me, when I face challenges, I also just stop and think, what can I learn from this situation? And that is really what is helping me as well as I grow. So challenges are here with us. We get the victories, we get the challenges, but it's really our attitude towards the challenges that can help us to, you know, see them from a positive light, see what we can learn from them, and use that to develop ourselves.
Okay, so we're going to go for a short break whereby we will get to listen to her biography. Probably we should have started with that, but anyway, it's okay. It's still the same. So we will go with the biography, as well as we interviewed some people that know Jama a lot, people that are so close to her and know a lot, and they shared some of the things that they know about her. So we will take a look at that. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay tuned.
Jama Jack is a feminist leader, blogger, and communications personnel. She is an ardent advocate and activist for the promotion and respect of the rights of women and girls, and has been actively involved in advocacy and social change work since age 10. Jama is guided by her passion to ensure the respect and fulfillment of the rights of women and girls, and their protection from all forms of discrimination and violence. She is interested in the intersection between advocacy communication and social change, and uses her professional skills and experience to support organizations and initiatives working to support women and girls in the Gambia and beyond. Jama is the head of communications at the Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, where she leads the communications and engagement team to deliver efficient results in the internal and external communications processes of the unit. Jama will eventually grow to be affiliated with and immersed in various organizations working to make life better for all humans. Presently, volunteers her time and skills with various other organizations, especially those working on issues affecting women and girls. She is a communications manager at Think Young Women, a young women-led organization addressing and catering to the needs of girls and women in the Gambia. Jama leads innovative communication strategies and initiatives at the organization, and has also been sought as a trainer on communication and new media for the organizations and institutions in the Gambia. Other affiliations past and present include Women Deliver, Young Leader 2018, GAM Africa Institute of Leadership, Board Member, Starfish International, Volunteer, World Economic Forum Global Shapers Banjul Hub, Curator, Gambian Students Association in Morocco Vice President and President, Gambians Against Rape and Molestation, Member, Ndam Mariam Jain Family Foundation, Volunteer, Frida the Young Feminist Fund, Advisor. These are the awards that she has backed. Women Deliver Young Leader 2018, Women Deliver, 100 Most Influential Young Africans 2016, Africa Youth Awards, Starfish Supporter Legacy Award 2016, Starfish International, International Women's Day Award 2015 Girls for the Future, 25 Most Outstanding Emerging Young African Women Leaders 2012, Moremi Initiative for Women's Leadership in Africa. Jama continues to be an inspirational leader for many young people in the Gambia.
I'm quite excited about the Youth of the Month, Jama Jack. Jama and I met a really long time ago. We met during the International Children's Day of Broadcasting. We would probably be around 10, 11-ish. And in high school, I've also had the opportunity to be in the same school with her, the Gambia Methodist Academy. Jainaba and I got really close over the years because of this interest that we've had, but also most especially because of the fact that Jama's husband happens to be my brother. So I am Jama's Njeke. He gave me that honor of being Jama's premier Njeke, which made us super close. We talk about literally everything. But one thing I know for sure is that Jama is the most committed person that I know. She loves her job very well, and she does it at no cost. She does it without thinking of any form of recognition whatsoever. She just loves this job and cares about the women and girls that we seek to represent. And this is why I am super excited about her being the Youth of the Month. This should have come earlier, Jainaba, I must say, but that's not important. At the end of the day, you have recognized her as someone who is very valuable to the Gambia, as someone who has dedicated her time, her resources to train young people in particular about communications. When you talk about communications here, I take pride in it. I'm like, Jama, period. And to see her excel in everything that she does, to see her recognized for the work that she's been doing for the longest period, really makes me happy and it excites me. I am thankful and grateful for the opportunity to have this kind of relationship with her. Even though most times, like I want to just jump on her, I tell her that respect to Loma, but regardless, it's all fun, it's all love, it's all respect, and it's sheer admiration from me to her.
Hello everyone, my name is Fatima Gomez and I am a mentee of Jama Jack. So before I go any further, I would like to just give a really big shout out to Jama Jack for being elected as the Youth of the Month. Congratulations. So I met Jama in 2016. I met her at Mallorca, but we did not know each other then, because it was Day of the African Child, and then she was there to cover the occasion. So I met her, and then I saw her. I was like impressed. I was so inspired with what she did, what she was doing rather, and I was like, wow, I would love to meet this woman like personally. And then, but then when God plans something, it's obviously going to happen. Nothing is going to stop it. So then she's part of an organization called Think Young Women. And then in 2016, they organized their third batch of mentorship program. And I was privileged enough to be part of it. So that was how I get to meet Jama as a mentor and in a personal level. And it has been a really, really great journey with her. So today, earlier, I was reading a book about teenagers, specifically about mentorship. And then I read something that says that a mentor is supposed to guide you to not commit the same mistakes that they did. And this made me actually reflect on my relationship with Jama, and I'm really grateful that is exactly what she's doing for me. And she's been so inspirational to me. She's been more than a mentor to me. She's been like a motherly figure to me, and I couldn't have been more grateful for her existence in my life. And Jama is a blessing to this earth, and the Gambia is more blessed to even have her as a Gambian. And I think that is one thing we should actually acknowledge and cherish.
I'm Jama Jack's mom. Jama is my firstborn. I have two daughters. She's the firstborn. And I'm very much proud of her. Very proud to have a daughter like her. And I think every parent would definitely be proud to have a daughter like Jama. She's somebody who is quiet. She doesn't talk much. Probably when he gets out with her peers, it could be a different thing. But she's not a talkative as far as I know. She's very respectful. And she is very dedicated to whatever work or assignment she's doing. And her profession, she really delivers to her ability and expectation. She is very much admired and respected by the entire family, both immediate and extended, because he is always very supportive to everybody. Me as a mom, I cannot express enough my satisfaction with her achievements and the level of respect and support that she is giving me. Yes, as a single mother raising two girls, you definitely have to be strict. And I remembered very well the first time she left home and was studying in Morocco. She sent me an email. And the words she expressed in that email, when I was reading it, I cried. because she was explaining and saying she now realized what I was putting her through. And at one time, he was even thinking whether I was her real mother because of the way I brought them up. But it is at that particular time that she now realized the benefits and the reasons why I took her through that rigorous process of upbringing. I think when we started talking about gender and women and development, we were the very first pioneers. And I'm very happy to see that she has taken it to another level that we've not even been thinking about. And that gives me the courage that with the young girls and her peers, there is hope that the future would be better. Some of the things that we couldn't do, we have hope in the young ones, her likes and her peers, and all of you. We know that there's a very bright future. I'm very proud to be her mother, as I said, and equally she's very proud to have me as her mother. And we appreciate everybody who crossed her line, who contributed in her career development and all that she is doing currently and hopefully in the future.
My name is Aissatou Diallo, and first off, before I say anything, I'd like to say a big congratulations to Jama Jack for the Youth of the Month recognition from QTV, the Youth Dialogue. A well-deserved award, I'd say, and it's important that we recognize young people when they're alive, especially in this country. So I met Jama, I think in 2011, 2012, around that time. But the interesting thing is, I actually heard about Jama's name before I ever even met her. So that actually shows how much impact she has created over the years, in the last 20 years of her advocacy with women and children in the Gambia. And I'd say it's been an amazing journey with her since then. She's impacted every single pillar of my life, from my career, my work, from school. I met Jama when I was finding myself, and she helped make that journey easy for me.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. Like I mentioned before we went for the break, that was Jama's biography, as well as interviews with different people that know her. She's our Youth of the Month today. Like I said, she inspires me personally and inspires the younger generation. And I mean, we are not Jama, but we are trying to work towards being her. And she's been very good when it comes to mentoring, because one of the people that I interviewed, IJ, I mean, she told me that, you see, Jama has made me change. And I am who I am today because of Jama Jack. And it was so emotional. Like when I listened to it, it was really emotional that an individual is able to inspire an individual that far. Yeah. You know, it meant a lot to me, especially.
I mean, it goes both ways, because she also...
Yeah, oh. Sorry, yes. Guess she also inspired you.
So she inspires me as well. And sometimes people are like, it's because of Jama that you're here. And I tell them, no. Yeah. I mean, she's a person in her own right. Yeah. She has her own talent. She's motivated. Aisatou's amazing. Yeah. And she's going to go far. And it's because for her as well, she recognizes who she is. Yeah. She understands what she's able to do. Yeah. And she does the work to get there. Yeah. So I always tell her as well, I learned so much from you. You know, I look at you, you're young, people say that's her mentor, but it goes both ways. And I think that's what people don't understand about mentorship in this country. They feel like it's just one way, you're just giving. But every single person that looks to me as a mentor is also somebody that I learn something from. And for me, that's really the beauty of my relationships with all of them. So as much as they're learning, as much as I'm sharing, I sit with them, I'm also learning so many things. And for me, it's also about just sharing with them so they do not make the mistakes that I made, for example. So I always tell them this. I'm like, if I tell you this, it's not that I'm stopping you from doing what I have done. It's just me trying to make sure you don't make the mistakes that I have made. I've already learned from that, so if I can move you away from that direction, I would do it. So for each one of them, that's really the relationship that we have. They see me as a mentor, that I give so much to them, but they also give so much more to me. And I try as much as possible to get them to understand that as well.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And people are asking how you juggle everything. Think Young Women, MRC, all the activities, that we see Jama doing, one person. So they're like, what are the tips? What is the secret? Does Jama have a to-do list? What does Jama do to make sure that all of these things happen?
I am the biggest procrastinator I know.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's really the passion that guides me. And to be honest, in the past year or two, I've been trying to go a bit slower because I've been trying to take better care of myself.
Yeah.
I've gotten to points where I've just completely crashed. Like I couldn't do anything at all. And I realized if you keep getting to this point, you're not going to be able to do the work that you want to do. So I've been trying to pace myself, which means sometimes having to let go of some of the things that I've been involved in. But it has meant prioritizing where I am most needed. So if I'm not here, it's not going to move. I give my energy and my attention there. And where I have some extra time, I also just support. I hate saying no because there were so many people who said yes to me. So I want to be able to keep saying yes as well, as much as possible to people. And that's really what I do. It's hard. Sometimes it means no rest. Sometimes it means you're so exhausted. But it's also the culture here where when you say no to people, they immediately see you as a bad person. It doesn't matter how many times you've said yes to them. The one time you say no is the one time they're going to use and judge you. You know, and sometimes people don't stop and think, this is also a human being. They need time for themselves, for their family, you know, just time to rest as well. So for me, that's really the motivation. I'm like, I need to do it for myself. So I still say yes a lot, you know, but I also know when to stop and just say, not right now. Maybe some other time I will be able to come on board. I don't have to-do lists. I mean, to-do lists just drag me because I'm looking at them always. I'm like, I haven't been able to do this and that and that. And that just kills my motivation. So for me, it's just wake up, do what you can in that day. And if you can't finish it, the next day is there, go ahead and do that as well. But a lot of it is really tied to the passion because when you love what you do, it doesn't become a burden. And that's really what it is for me. I love everything that I do. Everything I'm involved in, I love. So I'm able to just give of myself to all of that work.
So we've also seen Jama in the movie industry. Can I say movie? Do we have a movie industry or sin? So which is yes. Yes. So we've seen you around that area as well. So is it like you're going to continue after Mebet? Because I watched the movie Mebet. I think it was really creative. I can't wait to see it again. I don't know when. Maybe after the
hopefully
COVID-19.
soon. Yeah. So we were supposed to do another screening, but because of COVID, we couldn't do that. So we're looking at other opportunities. But absolutely, we're currently working on a few projects, movie projects. But for me, so I've been in the creative world forever. I've been in the arts forever. People may think I am new to this because well, this is the first movie that my name has been associated with publicly, but I've been here. I've been doing the work, you know. So with Mebet, really, it started with my writing, which is what I am more known for, and then that writing is what has now been moved into film. So yes, we're definitely working on some projects. Hopefully by next year, we should be talking about another movie from the Gambia. The idea for us, so like you said, do we have an industry? We are building.
Big question.
We're building that industry. There's a lot of talent in the country. There's a lot of people who are willing as well to create that industry. The environment is not very friendly. There are so many challenges, but I think we've got the base that we need, which is the people. We've got the talent. We've got the, well, a bit of the resources. So it's really about using what we have right now to just build. It's going to get there. We look at what happened with the music industry, for example. We can have hope that we can also build a perfect quality film industry in the Gambia.
And that's what the response was really good when it comes to Mebet. Because I attended it and the hall was absolutely full.
To this day, we're still getting like absolutely excellent reviews. And for me, sometimes it's really overwhelming. I'm like, oh my God, we did this. You know, but I think it also just points to what happens when you produce quality work. And this is what we keep saying. Let's just do the work. Let's make sure it is quality. People are going to support. So you don't have to wait for people to support before you start. When we started, we had no support. We funded it ourselves. We had to find people who would be willing to work without the funding that we were looking for, you know. So, and now here we are. I think if we were going to do a second one, it would probably be easier on that front than the first time. And that's really how we just build the steps to get to where we can now talk about a full industry where people get paid to be in that industry and say, I am an actor, this is what pays me. I am an actress, this is what pays me. So yeah, that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, that's really true. I don't think we have people specifically having money specifically, like their
so
salary
a lot of people
from
who
that?
do it also have jobs.
Exactly, because it can't sustain them.
And that also affects the industry, because if you're supposed to be on
The
set and you have to go
attention
to
is not
work,
there.
sometimes it's really difficult.
Yeah.
They really want to do it. So
Yeah,
if we're
but-
able to create something where you have a full-time actress that says, I am paid by my acting, that would be amazing, because you now have people who are committed fully to doing that work.
So is there any website that people can go and pay to be able to see the movie or something?
So not yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we're working on, and hopefully, because there's a lot of people, especially those outside the Gambia,
They
who
want
would want
Yeah.
to see it, and that's really what we want to do as
Yeah.
well. But our main goal is really to take it across the Gambia as well, do screenings in communities and have the conversations, because it's not just any movie. It's a movie that addresses child marriage, which is a social issue, and so that's what we want to do. But we're working on making it available for people to watch online as well. So once that is available, we'll do the announcements.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice, because a lot of people in the diaspora.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that maybe they can just pay and then get
watch
to see
it, or even watch it for free. We're happy to do that.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think they should be watching it for free. I think they should be paying. I think that culture should be put there from now, so that they will know that, okay, I need to pay to be able to see.
I mean, they do it for everything else.
Exactly.
You go on some streaming platforms, you pay to be able to watch it. But one of the things that we did not want to do with this film is because of the issue it addresses. So it wasn't a film that we created to make money out of. So it was a film that we created as a tool. So any money we get from it is actually going to go back into the movie, because we're going to translate it into our other Gambian languages, so more people can can understand. So if we get that support and we're able to translate it, we probably will not charge anyone to watch the film.
That's nice then.
So maybe our other films, we would start to charge people.
I think that's a brilliant idea. So we see that Jama has a lot of followers on Twitter, about 13 point something K, something like that. So how were you able to put all of those things together? Because I know how hard it is to have followers on Twitter, really.
I can't remember. I think I joined Twitter in 2010.
Yeah.
So I've been there for 10 years. And so there's that. You
Yeah,
know.
but the time is there, but yombut pour nga am followers on Twitter.
So it's also about the content, I would think.
Yeah.
So if you're putting out content that's relevant, I remember there was a time when it was really lonely out there as a Gambian feminist on Twitter. You know, you're just there and just talking, and there's so many people fighting against everything that you're saying. But I think the consistency also helps. When people see that you're consistent with your work and with your message and with your content, it helps to build a sort of loyalty to what you do.
Yeah.
But it's also about the different networks that I am a part of. But also, I think it has to do with how I use my communication skills and expertise to also just put my stuff out there. So when I go to conferences, for example, I'm tweeting, I'm sharing the experience, and that gets people to come on board. When I do my blogs, I write about things that people are, maybe that catches the interest of someone, they decide to follow me to see more of that. So for me, it's not a deliberate attempt to get followers. Sometimes it's a little too much, to be honest. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm just going to turn my account to private, or I'm going to create a smaller account. But I also understand the significance of having that platform and using my voice on that platform in the way that I do. So I think over the course of 10 years, that is really what has brought people to me to follow the work that I do. And with me, that's really the more beautiful part about being on there. It's the engagements that we have with people.
So I saw a post on Twitter by you talking about the skin bleaching issue. And I know a lot of people will be like, Ki lutah muy wax ni feminist yi ni ndaw ñu jóg. You know, when I saw it, that is what came to my mind. I'm like, I am reading people's minds now, and I know this is exactly what they're saying, because to them it's not maybe necessary for you to come out, because I saw that when the government decided to decriminalize it, everybody's like, this is not relevant. Who cares, you know? So why do you think it should be a priority? Because I saw you talking about the discriminatory aspect.
So like I said in that tweet, I think there's a lot of sensationalism around it, and some of it has to do with how it has been reported in the media. So this decriminalization of the skin bleaching prohibition decree that was in effect in 1996, you know, it is part of a whole process of decriminalizing discriminatory laws or repealing discriminatory laws against women specifically. So it is one part of that whole package. And it has been picked out, and that's where the attention is now. And I think it's also something very deliberate, because they know how people are going to react to it and how that could possibly have a consequence on what the vote becomes at the National Assembly. But for me, it's really from a point of this is an issue of discrimination. You cannot control what people do with their bodies. So yes, we know skin bleaching is harmful, but as we have seen with so many harmful practices, it is education that changes people's mindsets. So when they have access to the right information, they know this is harmful. If I use it, this is what it could cause. And to go beyond just going to people and saying, leader for one bike, it's really telling them this is what can happen when you use these products. People step back. Once they learn, they're able to make informed decisions, and that is what you can sustain. Because when you go and say, this is bad, or it's been illegal, but people are still using the products. You walk around the streets, we see billboards on our highways advertising these products. It's being sold openly out in the market. So really, what does the law serve? For me, I would prioritize campaigns that educate, that sensitize, that go deep into what the consequences could be and get people to understand, yes, we're safeguarding your right to choice, but you also need to understand, because it's also about the right to information, the right to education. We're also just letting you know these are what the consequences are going to be. And if anything, the government can ban the importation of the products. They could regulate the use of the, the sale of the products in the country. But having to criminalize people who use the products, like we have seen in examples where some civil servants go get arrested because they're suspected to be bleaching their skin. It's discriminatory practice, and it targets women as well. We see men who are bleaching, and we know it, but then we know the laws are specifically targeting women. So it's from a discrimination point of view. I mean, the feminists are talking, and I've seen some of my peers as well go, this is not priority. For me, I feel like sometimes we miss it because it's not about picking and choosing what's priority when it comes to the respect of women's rights. We're fighting towards the full respect of all of our rights. So if we have these small wins, let's bring all of that together, because that's what's going to get us to that point. So people read it and thought, oh, she's supporting skin bleaching. I don't. Everybody looks at me and knows. My sister is really fair. And growing up, you know, people are always like, more hair, more nice. And we don't talk about that, because that's really what drives people to use some of these products. It's about what value we place on light skin over dark skin. And it's not everybody that can be like me and you and be like, I am proud in my dark skin. I love my dark skin. People are going to fall to those beauty standards and say, I'm going to do what makes me beautiful based on society's
and all of
standards.
those things.
So for me, the conversation needs to go beyond skin bleaching is bad. It also needs to look at why people are bleaching their skin. And then the government takes measures that do not involve criminalizing people who do these things to fit into society's standards.
So due to time constraints, I just wish we had 2 hours or 3, because we have a lot of things that we need to talk about. But due to time constraints, just quickly, you can just tell me, what do you do on your leisure time? What do you do?
I read and I sleep and I eat. I love the beach as well. So when I go to the beach, I have my book, or I go with my friends. I have some food. So for me, it's really, you know, just relaxing. I love my sleep as well. You know, I try to sleep as much as I can. But yeah, I read, I sleep, I sometimes write as well, which some people might consider work, but a lot of the time for me, it's not really work. So that's basically what I do.
Favorite color, food?
Not sure. I eat a lot. People who follow me online know I love my food. I love my chocolate. I love my super kanja. You know, favorite color, I don't know. Maybe it's blue. Maybe it's black.
Okay,
I don't really have any favorites.
So I guess finally, you can just tell us, because normally when we have a Youth of the Month, we want to take recommendations as a program. So how do you see the program, and what are some of the things that you think we should improve on?
I think it is great. I don't even know if there's anything to improve. I think this is my second time here, and I watch the show as much as I can. I think it's a very, very important space we have, especially on a platform as big as QTV that people are following. It's important to have a space that is dedicated specifically to young people, and not just a space where people come and say the youth are lazy, the youth are this, the youth are that. It's a space that shows young people and what they're doing in this country and how we are contributing to development. So in Gambia, there's not really a culture of celebrating people and their work. It's easier to criticize, it's easier to put people down. So this is what the space is doing for me. Every time somebody comes on, there's a lot of people who come on here that I don't even know about and that I've never heard about. But it's an opportunity for me to know about the work that they do. So I would say keep it up. Thank you. This is a wonderful space, and we need more of it.
I know there's something we need.
I would say don't stop it. Maybe that would be my recommendation.
Consistency.
Yeah, because sometimes we see these things start 1 year, 2, and then it drops off. You know, I would say don't stop it. Even if it's not going to be you on here forever, mentor somebody that can take over when you're not here, but keep the space. It's much needed in the country.
Right. Thank you so much, Jama Jack, for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Keep inspiring us, because I'm part of the group as well.
We do it as well. It's both ways, like I have said. It's both ways.
Yeah.
I learn a lot from all of you. Sometimes my husband's like, why don't you go do TV? Why don't you do a show? Like, there's so many people I'm learning from. And it's basically from watching all of the things that you guys do, you know, and just being inspired and knowing if I want to switch, I can go do that as well. So shout out to all of you young women in the media. I see you. I appreciate all of the work that you're doing.
Masters, PhD, anytime soon?
I'm currently doing my master's. I just need to finish it up. I'm working on my dissertation right now. So by the end of the year, I should get a master's in sexual and reproductive rights.
Yes.
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
Not yet.
Thank you so much for coming, Jama. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get to wrap it up. Viewers, that is all we have for you in this edition of the Youth Dialogue. That was Jama Jack, a very inspirational lady there. Viewers, don't forget to connect with us on our different social media platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social media platforms to be able to know what QTV is up to and generally stay connected. Don't forget to connect with me on my personal social media platforms. They're right in front of you. Take it, contact me, give me your recommendations. I will surely pen them down, if not even implement them. This outfit is provided by Zay's creation. I like it so much. I totally appreciate it. It's really nice, as you can see, and modest as well. Her numbers are right in front of the screen. Take it, call her. She'll provide you an outfit as nice as this or even better. Viewers, till I come your way next week with other young people doing extremely well across the country, stay tuned.
Has your dream taken you to the kind of home you want to live in? With your family? Are you worried about the kind of neighborhood to bring your children up? Does the influence of society and environment matter to you and your family? Are you worried about your health, your early morning joggings, sound of the birds? Does accessibility contribute to your daily activities? If yes, Universal Properties has homes, lands on our estates, property management, and construction, just at the right spots for the most reasonable offer. Our land locations are at Sukuta, Jabang, Brikama Jamisa, Kitty Highway, Sanyang, and Gunjur, on both mortgage and cash payment.
Established far back in 2009, and we are into housing, developing, rents, sales. We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian.
Universal Properties, property, the solution.